Hey my friend, this is Joe Bakmotsky. I'm the founder of Power to Be Happy and the author of Finding Hope in Times of Uncertainty, a guide to thriving in the challenging world of today. Listen, have you ever been in a place where maybe you're with a group of people and all of a sudden just someone says something out of the blue, and maybe it's like a small comment, but it's mean and it just completely throws you off? Or maybe listen, maybe you've been working on something and building towards something all day, and then just something happens and it just completely throws you out, and you realize it's all been for nothing and you just like wasted the entire day. Well, my friend, these are the waves of emotions that's sweeping, like whether that's anger or being frustrated or just being scared or whatever that might be. These emotions, they sweep in and take over as our reaction to the challenges that we experience in our daily life. And it's so crucial to deal with them in a way that really serves us, doesn't it? And I know that it's really difficult to get out of these emotions, right? Because you get caught up in it. You get caught up in the loop and you start to figure out what happened and why and what you should have done differently. And it never works, right? Because oftentimes it has to do with other people or circumstances that really are beyond our control. So we need to find another way. We need to find another way of dealing with it, in a way that helps you the most right now. And I find that the number one thing, the best thing that can really help you, and the first thing that can really change it up in a huge, powerful way, almost in an instant, when you're feeling angry or scared or confused or caught up in some kind of emotion or maybe worry, the first thing I would highly recommend that you do is thank or acknowledge someone that you appreciate in your life. I know that sounds weird. I know that sounds strange, because what does that have to do with anything? But the truth is that when you're caught up in your emotions, it's often, like we just touched on, it's often all about things that you cannot control anyway, or maybe you can't influence right now. But what you can influence is the things that and people that you care about in your life, whether that's your friend, whether that's your workmate, whether that's your partner, whether that's your child, whether that's your parent, whether that's someone in your community, whoever that might be. Maybe this person has done something great for you, or just something helpful, or maybe you just appreciate their presence in your life. I'll tell you what, when you ring them up, when you text them, or when you send them an email and just say, well, listen, thank you so much for doing this for me, I really appreciate it. Or when you call them up to say, listen, I just want to say thank you for being in my life. It just means so much to me. You've just been a constant source of support. Like that, not only does this achieve this person feeling great about themselves and feeling acknowledged. Because isn't it true that we so often don't get the recognition that we truly deserve, especially just out of the blue, right? When someone just rings you up or messages you or emails you, right? It feels good, doesn't it? Like, it feels great. Not only do you do a great service to that person, but you are completely shifting your emotional state. You go from a place where you might have been angry or upset or just worried, and you go into a place where you experiencing gratitude, where you are experiencing just a joy of another person being in your life or doing something great for you. Right? That completely changes your state, and you are able to break yourself out, maybe not completely, but at least to break out of this spell, if you will, of kind of this emotion that just completely took over you. And now we can go and do something about it. right? Now that you've shifted your emotional state by acknowledging or thanking someone in your life that you genuinely care about, now we can go into a place where instead of looking at, who's right or who's wrong or what should I have done differently, or because that's what always happens to me, right? Like if I've been in a stressful situation or just something didn't go my way, I always think, well, listen, I should have said this. And if I said that, then this person would have said this, and I would have said that in return, and that would really put them in their place. Well, that never really works, and you end up wasting so much of your energy, right? And it just goes for nothing, right? It's absolutely meaningless, right? Because like we talked about, there's things that we can change or influence. So instead of looking back and trying to kind of effectively wind yourself up even more, the question that I try to ask myself is this: what is the one thing that could serve me the most in this situation right now? What is the one thing that could serve me the most in this situation right now? Because when you go into this mode, when you go into a place where you're trying to find a way forward, when you're not looking back on what you could have done differently or trying to analyze what happens, you make it so much easier for yourself. Because honestly, I realized a while ago that life is not fair and will never be fair or just or make sense. And honestly, this has given me just freedom to be myself, because all of a sudden I don't have to have an explanation for everything. I don't have to have a solution to every single problem. I don't have to do that. Because when I get stressed out, when I get some kind of emotion that just sweeps in and takes over my life, these are the two things that I want to try and do immediately. One is to thank or acknowledge someone that I care about, to break up the emotional state. And the second thing is, I'm sort of thinking back on what could have been done differently, or try to figure out what went wrong, instead of going to and ask myself this very question: what is the one thing that could help me the most in this situation that I am facing right now? I hope this helps you. I hope this serves you in some way. My name is Joe Bakhmutsky. Thank you so much for being here. I'll talk to you soon.